Okay, so a question just came up on my Discord of how to feel the rubber band effect. I don't actually coach that. That's Coach T's thing from Slingshot. But I do think that understanding that mechanic and having the feel of that, at least my understanding of it, which may totally be incorrect according to Trent, I do think that's a useful thing to help understand what you want your offhand to do and how the timing should work. So this is the way that I teach the offhand in general. So just take a normal athletic stance, don't really care, doesn't matter. And you're going to swing your arms thusly. This seems easy, but it's more complicated than you think. So my arms are swinging at 90-degree angles to each other, viewed from above. So my left arm is swinging here at a 45 degree. So my feet are on a 45, and my hand is going straight towards you and straight away from you. And then if I turn to the other 45, it's going this way. And then my other hand does the same thing, mirrored. Is it mirrored? It's not mirrored. It's on the other side. So you're just swinging your arms like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to break. So feel this and don't just do this, right? This is wrong. Let your hips inform the motion. So I'm doing this little tiny bit of a twirly bird or a hula drill, whatever you want to call it, so that I'm moving my whole body together as one unified thing. Then what I'm going to do from here in super slow motion is I'm going to break the rhythm of my rear side. So while this is floating, I'm going to make this go a little bit more, and then I'm going to drop it down in front such that this dropping makes this go up. So you have a counter lever thing here. And I'm not doing anything with this arm other than changing the timing. I'm just lifting it and dropping it. Boom. And letting my hip move with that motion. So then what happens, trying to do exactly the same thing with my front side. I'm not trying to move my front side at all. My right arm being my front side. I'm here, I'm going to lift, drop. And this gets projected out the front in a pretty disc golf throw looking way just by counterweighting my rear arm. I'm just changing the timing of my rear arm. So this is not the rubber band effect the way that Trent teaches it, but the mechanic is the same. And this is the best way I've found to get people to understand the feel, because if you're forced at all, it doesn't work. If you're loose and flowy and you're actually ragdoll arming it, then this motion informs this motion a lot. And that's then once your brain gets that, you can feel it and it makes a lot of sense. And then you can very easily apply it to a more dynamic throw, right? Where if I'm just doing that, I get some spin out. But if I allow my off arm to help me anchor, I don't. So that's the best way I have to teach the part of the slingshot effect that I find useful in the throw. My understanding is what Trent teaches is a lot more aggressive punching forward, which is going to cause rotation on this plane. I'm using the off arm more to weight the brace and to get this weight and this weight inside of the rotation at the right time so that they can then come outside of the rotation at the right time. Again, kinematic sequence stuff that you're using your off arm to make the shoulder rotation happen faster and then to make it happen slower so that your arm can still get ahead. Same thing happens with the hips. You're getting the rear leg inside of the rotation so that part of the hip snap can be snappy. And then the second part of it is slowed down by having to drive the rear leg around, pull the rear leg around, the rear hip having to pull the rear leg around, so many words. That's causing the slowdown in the hips, which forces momentum up the chain. Same thing happens with off arm, forces momentum down the chain, using conservation momentum to actually create a better hit point. Very hard to do, hopefully now easier to understand and then easier to find in your throw. When you get it working in your throw, it's so fun. And you get magical extra bonus distance from physics, which is kind of the whole point. So that's how I think about off arm. Good luck, go forth, and huck.